Alrighty. Hi, everybody. It's Ben, and today I'm going to be talking to you about 21st century learning, exactly some components of it, how I already incorporated it in my work, as well as how I want to improve in it. 21st century learning is basically how we are teaching and learning in today's age. The school system has adapted over the past few decades. We're completely different than we were back, say, in like 1950. And that's just because we have to adapt to how our society is being fit. So what I did is I created an infographic on Canva that's a multi-page infographic highlighting three main components of 21st century learning that I view as extremely important. So I'm going to go through the infographic with you and we're going to discuss 21st century learning. So to start off, the first page of the infographic, we have the three main components. So we have technology, collaboration, and then the student. The first component is technology because classrooms nowadays have more and more technology and are using it. Using that correctly is extremely important for teachers in order to help make a huge impact on their students. I'll go more in depth about each one as we go throughout this presentation. The next one's collaboration. So schools nowadays are emphasizing more on collaboration, and that is more important to students than simply memorizing terms or being able to do simple math problems. So that's a huge component of 21st century learning. And finally, the student as a whole is the next major component of 21st century learning. So schools are focusing on creating more well-rounded individuals more than ever before by increasing support staff such as school psychologists. So now we're going to go into more in depth about each component that I'm highlighting in 21st century learning. So the first one we have up is technology. So technology, I'm using it right now to create this presentation. I'm recording on Zoom. I'm using it as a learning method. I use it to create this Canva infographic. So classrooms have more technology more than ever. We used to have classrooms that were full of books, worksheets, journals, all of that stuff to use for learning, mainly used to help students memorize and become more efficient at completing tasks. Now, students have access to more resources than ever before. Schools used to have a bunch of books. Well, now students have laptops. They're able to use these laptops to access as many books as they may want. Now, it does come with a price, but students have the ability to access more resources than ever before. And then they also have the ability to use different tools to help with their learning. Some students may learn better from watching, say, a YouTube video such as Crash Course. That's a great YouTube channel that provides short little videos that are digestible for students to learn about a specific topic. Other students may want to read research articles, read books about topics. They can use their technology to access those as well. And then also, as I discussed before, this presentation is technology right here. I'm using Canva to create an infographic to highlight what I've been learning. I'm using Zoom to display what I've been learning and share it with all of you out there. So that's how technology is used in classrooms. Specifically in my work, I try to incorporate different if I'm working with like someone trying to teach them how to weight lift or get back into shape, running, stuff like that, rely heavily on YouTube videos showing form. For me, videos like that are extremely beneficial. I'm a visual learner, so videos are extremely useful. There are other technologies such as apps. Apps are a huge thing you can download on your phone. They're with you wherever you need. So students incorporating apps into our education is extremely important and it's something that I want to learn more how to do because most students have phones nowadays, so they'll have access to learning at their fingertips with their phones just simply by hopping on an app and learning about that. So then the next component of 21st century learning is collaboration. As discussed before, we are focusing more on having students be able to collaborate instead of doing traditional tests and quizzes. That just isn't going to help students with the new jobs that are going to be created in the next couple years. It's still important for them to be able to do these tasks and skills from before, but collaborating and using critical thinking processes and problem solving are more important nowadays. We want to encourage students to work together to produce creative responses to solve problems. So we want students to have these skills that they need in order to be able to help fill and work and make differences in jobs that necessarily don't exist nowadays. So the way I like to use collaboration in my work is I've used to coach middle school track and field. I'm looking to coach varsity this upcoming school spring season. So what I would do is I would create different little like partner or small group task slash drills that help the students get in shape while also working together to help build these team bonding, this team working skill set that really wasn't done before. Now, it's a little bit different in the sports context than a classroom context, but it's still applicable. So that's how I would use collaboration in my previous work, and really incorporating into my work, allowing students to bring their own creative approach into it as well. Maybe they think that something might be more beneficial if they did this drill this way. Giving them students the voice that they need to share what they've learned and how they want to do their own work is extremely important in a 21st century learning classroom. The final component that I view as extremely important in 21st century learning is the student. So before, schools used to highlight teaching philosophies focused on social efficiency. We wanted to have students go to school, learn how to do simple math and read, then they are shipped out, able to go into the workforce, be able to complete what they need done, or go to higher education. Schools nowadays are still focused on creating students that are able to do these tasks, but we want them to be well-rounded and are able to complete different tasks, different types of tasks and skills than ever before. We also want to create well-rounded students that are both mentally and physically healthy. In classrooms from a couple decades ago, you would have gym class still. It was more of just something for you to do to get active. Nowadays, we're shifting to more of an approach of teaching students why it's important to be active. What are the benefits of participating in physical activity for their health, as well as we're pushing to increase mental health awareness in schools and resources. Um, since post-pandemic, we have been seeing a lot more funding going into resources for mental health, such as increase in school psychologists, increase in mental health professionals, just so students are able to feel supported and needed in the school system because they are facing challenges and adversities that many students weren't facing, say 20 years ago, especially with the transition from online learning back to in-person, then maybe even back to online. So students have been impacted by consequences and challenges that other generations haven't had to face. So increasing these mental health professionals in school districts are extremely important. As an educator myself, I know I used to be focused, more on like I want the students to feel like I want to see them having improvements in their work. I want to see the student as a whole improving. Now I want to know more about the student's motivation. What's impacting them? How do they feel during the assignment, the workshop, the drill, stuff like that. I want to know how they're feeling and how I can make them feel better or how I can help them improve and want to keep improving, having that self-determination in them in their learning. So I think those are the three main components of 21st century learning. I have my references on my last slide of my infographic. I will include a link in the description of this video to have access to this infographic as well. That way you're able to look at it. I know it's a little bit difficult to look at on Zoom in the share screen mode. So I'm also going to include it. That way you can pull it out separately and have access to that as well in case you want to read through the graphic and not have to listen to me talking as well. Having access to these different multimodal forms of learning are extremely important in 21st century learning. So that's why it's important to have different resources available. So yeah, thank you.